Settling is not an option for me. Everything I desire is already mine. What if you can have it all? Because every day is for the girls.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of For the Girls. I'm your host, Victoria Alario. And today we're kicking off part 1 of my best friend's wedding series featuring my best friend Amanda. So I'm going to be doing a series called My Best Friend's Wedding. I actually got the title from the movie My Best Friend's Wedding. I love that movie. If you never saw My Best Friend's Wedding, you have to watch it. I love it. But the movie itself has nothing to do with the series. Nothing that happens in the movie happens with my friends and their relationships. But yeah, I love the movie. So when I thought about doing the series, I was like, what better way to call it than My Best Friend's Wedding, considering 3 of my best friends are getting married this year. And I'm getting married this year, which is the funniest thing because out of the 4 of us, all 4 of our relationships have been completely different durations of time. Everyone has started dating at different times, got engaged at different times, started to plan the wedding at different times. Yet it was truly God's plan. It wasn't our plan for the 4 of us to all get married this year. It was God's plan. Whether who was in a relationship for 2 years, who was for 3, 4, 5, 7, we're all in different lengths of time in our relationship, yet what are the chances that we all are getting married the same exact year? The chances are very slim. So like I said, that was all God. And so I was thinking, we got to do something with this. We're all planning weddings. It's like love is in the air, weddings are in the air, bridal is in the air. We're all in our bridal era. So I wanted to make a series where I interview each one of my friends who planned their wedding, and the interviews will be after each of their weddings. So we just had Amanda's wedding in March, March 14th it was. So now that her wedding was over, she is the first guest. So I interviewed her. We talked all about the wedding planning, all the things. She gave details as well. If anyone is like a New York, New Jersey bride, you got the vendor details, all different things like that, recommendations in there. We also talked relationship advice in general. She did a few things untraditionally in her relationship. So we talk about that. We also, in this episode, will talk about the grief of losing a parent and going through your bridal era, while, dealing and grieving the loss of a parent, because it is so common. And this does happen to so many brides. And I feel like no one really talks about it. So I had Amanda talk about it. Her dad was her best friend. We all loved her dad growing up. And so that was a big shock. That was it hit really hard when that happened. And so we do talk about experiencing grief and sadness while simultaneously being happy and appreciating the absolute best time in your life. So we cover a lot of different things in this episode. And it's also just like best friend chat. Amanda's not a podcaster. She's just my best friend since high school. So you're going to hear a lot of Staten Island accents in this one, but it's good. I would love for you girls to hear all about Amanda's wedding because it really was the best day. We had so much fun. And she wants to get famous after this. So give her a follow, make her famous. And we're going to get right into it. But before we do, I just have to announce that I never even shared that I have a workbook out now. It is called For the Girls Who Desire More. So if it's going to be linked in the show notes. It's also on my website where all my coaching stuff is, victoriaalario.com. And it is over 90 pages long, and it is just a digital downloadable workbook. You can make a physical, you could download it and print it out. It is amazing. The feedback has been so good. The girls are loving it. It's literally only $29. Okay. It's not coaching. There's no videos. It's just a workbook. There's journal prompts. There's thought-provoking questions. You're going to be writing letters to yourself. There's worksheets that you're going to fill out, activities that you're going to do. It's broken up into 3 different parts. So the first part, tons of stuff in there, a lot of questions that you got to answer in there. The first part is all about discovering you. And then we bump it up a notch. And part 2 is about elevating you. So now we're really getting into the flow of things. And then we finish it off, part 3, with stepping into the 2.0 you. And now by point three, like by part three, you are fully embodying your 2.0 energy. You're doing actionable steps. You're making plans. You're getting shit done. You're going to see the changes. You're going to see the results. So all the shit that you talked about in part one and the things that you want to, evolve and grow and change, you're going to see that by the time you get to part three. So the entire thing is like a continuation. So in part three, there will be things that you're reflecting back on from part two. In part two, there's going to be things you're reflecting back on from part one. Like the whole thing goes together. The fact that it is 90 pages, like I said, so long, so much content, so much in there, and only $29. Run and get it. Also, of course, on victorialario.com, you will find my Queens of Confidence digital program. You'll find the application to apply for one-on-one private coaching with me. So everything is on there. And yeah, had to put that out there because I just never even mentioned it, but it's been out. So go grab it while it's there. Now, let's get into the episode and kick off my best friend's wedding series. Okay, everyone, please welcome my best friend and sister, Amanda, on For the Girls. I didn't even realize you were wearing that sweatshirt. She's wearing a For the Girls merch sweatshirt. We love it. Welcome, Amanda. Amanda, introduce yourself to the girls.
Hi, I'm Victoria's best friend, Amanda, aka Mams.
Mams. A new bride.
A new bride since March 14th. Crazy. I can't even believe it.
Do you feel like a wife?
I've always been a wife.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, I've always just been a wife. Like, I knew the minute I met him I was going to marry him. So I've always just felt like a wife since we started dating. And honestly, it goes both ways for me and him. We both felt like husband and wife, so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I even referred to him as your husband, like, before you got married, like, which I guess is just, like, common practice, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if you really call people, like, someone's fiance, but I don't know, like, I feel like I always would just say, if I was talking about you, I would refer to him as Amanda's husband, so,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's true.
You know why? Because I manifested him, and I said, like, my next relationship I'm gonna be in is gonna be with my husband. Lo and behold, he became my husband. So.
I feel like that happened to all of us within our friendship, like not at the same time, but none of us, like, since we've been with the guys that we're with now, like that was it. Like those were the ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course, as you're younger, for those listening, like we've been friends since we're literally 13, 14 years old, freshmen in high school.
Crazy.
So like, obviously there were so many flings and guys and whatever, but like once we were all like met the guys that we're with now, like that was it.
That was it. Literally, that was it.
We love that. Okay, so like we just said, you're a new wife. Well, whatever, maybe not so new in your terms, but legally new.
We're new.
You just had your dream wedding. It was the best day. It was like,
oh my God,
best day of my life too. We're gonna talk all about it. You've also been with your husband for a long time, so we're also going to talk about just like relationship stuff in general for the girls too.
Of course.
For starters, I like to start with the timeline of your relationship because I think girls always like to hear about this, and we'll dig into like why. But for girls, it's always like, I feel like you just said, like you both knew from the beginning. Sometimes people don't know. So it's like they're in a relationship for years. They don't entirely know where this is going, what this is going to be. So they like to hear about people's relationships to kind of like
100%.
give themselves peace. So like, how long did you date? When did you get engaged? And then like from there, how long did it take to plan the wedding and all that?
Oh Lord. Okay. So we started dating when I was 21. I met him down the shore. We met Jenks. Thanks, Jenks. Everyone thinks it's DJs, but it was really Jenks. And we were down the shore. And we had a mutual friend. We became cool. And I was like, just like we were out like drinking, hanging out, like whatever. And I was like, I looked over and I was like, oh, who's that? He's like, oh, it's my friend Serge. And I was like, oh, you have to introduce me. And if not, I'm going to go up there and I'm just going to say like, I'm Amanda, how are you? So he introduced me and like we were talking. And when he introduced me, I literally said to him, I said, I'm Amanda, nice to meet you. Like, I'm going to be your wife one day. And he goes, oh, yeah? And this is Sergio. He's like, oh, yeah, you're going to be my wife? I said, bet on it. I'm going to be your wife.
And Sergio's so serious. He's not like a funny guy.
No.
Like, so he probably was like, Okay.
And also too, he gets very shy. Me, I'm very outspoken. I have no filter. Like I just say whatever comes to my mind. I really don't care. Like however it comes off, I just say what I want. So when I said it, he was like, I'll never forget his face. He was like so taken back. And then we kind of talked for a little bit. And then basically, yeah, we started dating and it was very serious. We kind of moved, I wouldn't say quick, but we did because once we were in that talking stage, it's like that awkward thing, like you're talking to someone, you don't know if like you're serious or, he's just playing around and you're playing around, but like it kind of like we just like fell in like it was serious. Like he had an apartment at the time. Like I was staying over there every night. We were hanging out. We were making dinner. We were going out all the time to the city, Brooklyn, Staten Island. Like we were going all over the place, dates every night. Like, it kind of just like, I don't know, just like fell right where it should fall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
I would say year 3, I was starting to basically say like, what's going on here? Because we've always had that conversation, like where it's going and how it's going and, what our goals are, what we want out of the relationship. And 3 years, you're like, okay, like where's the ring? Or like, what are these conversations about? So year 3, we actually moved in together. And we established a timeline of living together in our apartment for 1 year. And then we were going to basically buy a house. Did not know with the intention of I was going to have my ring also. So I come home September 30th. I'm not embarrassed to say the year, but whatever, 2020. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you guys could judge me. So I come home September 30th, 2020. He got me Bruno, obviously my baby. We got a puppy before that. So I knew we were in the right direction. That summer we got a Frankie. Victoria, I have photos of you still.
Yeah. I just was about to say, to clarify, like he didn't bring her a baby. He brought her a dog.
Yeah,
She's
we did
like,
not
he
find
got
the
me a
baby.
baby. Like he did not come home with a baby.
He did not come home with a swaddled child. Honestly, I told him what ring I wanted. Like we were having that conversation. And this is another thing, people are going to say I'm crazy, but like I wanted to go with him to see.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be a controversial thing, but like I just knew, like I'm a very visual person. Like I have to see it in order to believe it and to confirm and validate what I want. So we went ring shopping, and I told him from like the minute we started dating, I want a round ring, round. I tried round on. It looked horrible on my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. Like if you've gone ring shopping, like it depends on your hand, if it's chubby or if it's skinny, you have long fingers, and the round just did not look good on me. So when we went to the jeweler, he already had my stone picked out, which the jeweler was in on it. So I tried on round and I was like, oh my God, absolutely not. So then he comes out with different shapes and, we're picking bands and we're picking this. And I always had an idea of what like bands I wanted. So I picked out my band, and then he was like, oh, well, I just got this is the jeweler now. He's like, oh, I just got this new stone in. Try it. Like, see if you like it. And I was like, I tried it and it's my stone right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's really nice. That's pretty. It's different.
And he already had it for you.
He already had it picked out and everything.
Oh,
so yeah, he was funny. So he had it picked out already. I guess he knew I was going to love it. And then I just basically picked out my band. And now we went in May. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but we went in May. So now from May to September, I'm like, where's the ring? Like, I didn't get it, like, So everyone's like, you kind of ruined your surprise. No, I had no idea when he was giving it to me. We went May, and he gave it to me in September, end of September, almost like literally September 30th. So we were still living in the apartment. I was like waiting, giving him that time because this is a big purchase too. Like, nothing's cheap. So waiting. So then we got Frankie in July. And then September, he was like bugging me about getting a second dog. And I'm like, Serge, we live in our apartment. I don't think we should get another dog. So he just texted me how he was at work. He goes, I bought the dog. I'm like, okay, he bought the dog. I'm like, but where's my damn ring? Like, I want my ring. He texted me, we're going out to eat tonight. And already like was dressed to go to work, hair and makeup's on, thank God. So I come home, and now I lived upstairs in my apartment. I had to go up steps. So I remember just walking up the steps. I opened the door, and like the lights were dim. So I was like, okay, where is my puppy? Because like he just picked up the dog. And he told me my aunt was going to be there because she was watching our puppy so we can go out to dinner. So I walk in, I'm like, why is it black in here? I said, where's Sergio? Where's Frankie? Where's Bruno? Where is everybody? So I walk in, and I just turn the corner, and I see like all candles. Now, keep in mind, maybe I wasn't expecting it at all. So maybe when I walked in, I was like not realizing what was going on. I really wanted to see my puppy. So I walk in, and I see like roses, and he did it so nice, like candles, roses. He got like the letters, like it just like was so nice, cute, and quaint. And it was also COVID too, but it was just really nice. I wasn't really paying attention still. So now he's in front of me, and he's dressed up because like we were going out to dinner, and he hands me the dog, Bruno, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like hugging him, I'm petting him, and he's like, and I'm like, what? Like I'm petting, like what? He goes, do you want to look at the dog's neck? And he had the ring around his neck.
Oh shit, yeah.
Went over my head. I'm more fixing on the dog. And then, yeah, he got down on one knee, and he said, will you marry me? And I said, hell yeah. And at that point, we were together 3 years. Nobody knew. My dad obviously knew. Sergio's very old school. Like, he asked my dad's blessing, of course. He took him out for lunch and was like, Pete, I love your daughter. She's the best thing ever happened to me. I mean, that's probably what he said. I don't know exactly what he said, but that's what I know I'm the best thing to ever happen.
That's what I would like to think that he said.
That's what I would like to think he said, but he definitely said it. So, yeah. And then they went out to lunch, and I was honestly bugging my dad too. Because my dad knew we went ring shopping, and my dad was like, Amanda, I don't know nothing. And meanwhile, he knew everything. And then we basically woke up the next day. And at that point, we were going to be in our apartment 1 year. Like, I moved in October of 2019. And like I said, we had that year timeline. So woke up with the ring, the dogs, and he's like, well, what do you want to do now? Like, you want to buy a house, or do you want to have a wedding? And I said, honestly, I want to buy a house. So that came the house.
Yeah.
That came the
renovations.
The renovation. It came the postponing of the wedding. It came a postponing of the engagement. It came postponing of basically everything, because we had our house. We bought our house.
Yeah.
So
you guys wanted to have that. I mean, like you said, like it's a little untraditional, like you lived together before you got engaged. You bought the house before you got married. So like, those are things that
definitely
everyone's priorities are different, and also everything happens like at the end of the day, the way that it's meant to happen. So like, obviously that's what was meant to be.
Of course.
I'm curious though, like looking back now, like, okay, now you're married, you have the house, cool. But like, say that like you have a daughter, or even just like a friend, like, do you still recommend moving in before being engaged?
I do.
You still stand by that?
I stand by that 100%, and I'll tell you why. I think I even said this in our group chat, like when I was the first one to get engaged, and then everyone started to, we were all in relationships, but I was the first one to get engaged. So
not me.
Yeah. Well, you got your angel, so it doesn't matter how long it took. You got your angel. So I was the first one engaged, and honestly, I think I even told you guys, like, live with them first, because it's such a big adjustment too. Like, I came from an all-girls household. I had only sisters. I obviously had my father, but I didn't have a brother, and I didn't have I had a boyfriend when I was younger, of course, but like, I was single for so long, and I was single in the prime of like, to be single. Like, I was single from 17 to 21. And I'm sorry, when I met Sergio and I was ready to settle down. Like, when I think back on it, I'm so happy that I did the way I did it, because you hear these girls and these guys get into relationships so young and they stay in these relationships so long. And then when you're at that age where it's time to settle down, and it's time to, figure out your next thing, it's time to start adulting, we'll say. It's like they're either scorned, they don't want to have a relationship, they
Yeah.
want to party. And like I said, I feel like I did it right because I did everything I wanted to do from 17 to 21.
Yeah.
So when I met him, I was like, I'm like ready. Like I wanted to be in a relationship at 22 years old. I knew it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but like I said too, like also too, coming from, I'm happy we lived together because apartment to having a house with someone is like a different ball game. Like my style, my color scheme, and because you're going through it now too. Like if we're up to Sergio, our house would literally be season 1 Teresa Giudice's house. Like the dark cherry cabinets, the brown marble, and I'm like, no. We are light and airy. We are gray. We are white. We are grayish. Like that was the biggest thing. So even the apartment, like he was single. So like when I moved in, it was like a bachelor pad. I'm like, dude, no. So like we had these combative things and like, like all things that go into living with somebody, we already dealt with it when it came to the apartment. I have to say the biggest argument on the house was the paint and the color scheme. Other than that, I think he started to bend and come with the times because we were having combative wars about this.
Yeah,
But no,
you feel like you got those things out of the way.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Everyone obviously is going to have like such differing opinions. I
Mm-hmm.
think what it really comes down to is like trusting and knowing that your partner has the right intentions and like if marriage is what you want, it's really like about knowing that like he's not messing around and like he is
Mm-hmm.
going to marry you. Because my thing is like sometimes I feel like when girls, they give a man that they move in, they give the wifey treatment with no ring, with what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, by the time you guys bought the house, you were already
Yeah.
engaged. But, like, and then they just wait for years and years and years. And it's like, we've been
Mm-hmm.
living together. Where is the ring? What about the marriage? Like, what is taking so long? So I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, guys get away with receiving that like wifey treatment without
Mm-hmm.
being a husband. But like,
And,
you knew what kind of guy he was.
and I agree with you 1000%. I feel like, I mean, I don't know what made my situation different was we always had those pillow talk conversations of
Mhm.
having a wedding.
Yeah.
And, we just felt that in this day and age, and this was COVID, this is when we didn't even know what the hell was going on in the world. Like we wanted to buy a house. And I'm so happy looking back on it that we did that because I went to weddings during COVID and it was horrible what they were doing to brides. Like some venues were calling these people and demanding they pay in full almost 5, 8 months out before their wedding. Like, no. Like you put all your money, your energy, your time, your love, your goals, what you want for your day. You don't want restrictions. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that was another thing too. Like we knew we wanted to have an engagement party. We knew we wanted to have a wedding the way we wanted to have a wedding. So it was like during COVID,
Yeah.
we were like, we're not. Let's
Yeah.
just put all of our time, love, energy into our house. And when we have the wedding, we have the wedding, and it'll be a epic night.
Yeah. 100%. No, I mean, when like this is your person, they're not going anywhere, like we're in
Mm-hmm.
it for the long haul, like then there's no rush per se. It's like
No,
we know that we have our entire life to be together and get this
of
shit done.
course.
So okay, you mentioned the wedding talk, so let's reroute into
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about some wedding talk here. So paint the overall picture for us of like what wedding planning was like for you. So like, now okay, the house is done, that whole stuff is done.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to really start planning the wedding. Like
Yeah.
how long did you give yourself? Did you have a venue in mind? Did you go touring a million places? Like tell us the whole thing about planning.
So I have to say, with some things, I'm very indecisive. But like I said, I mean, I had a lot of time to sit on and think about what I wanted. Like my Pinterest board from 2020 was clearly and thoroughly executed on my wedding day. I have to say, I didn't steer really from anything. I knew the venue I wanted to get married in. So to me, there was no need to tour a million places at all. Like
Did you not?
No.
You didn't tour any places?
Nope. I priced around to see, I wanted to see my options. Like I knew where I wanted to get married, but I just wanted to basically see what else was out there. I wanted to give myself that experience, And honestly, what I was getting back was, it's expensive no matter what. But like some places didn't want to accommodate me on a Friday because I promised them 180 people. So that also put a lot of things into perspective too. It was like, I'm going to go where I want to go. And I'm also going to go where I feel is going to give me a beautiful wedding. And it's going to be exactly what I want. And they're not going to basically tell me, okay, well, I can't accommodate you because you don't have 180 people, but I can give you a Monday or a Tuesday. And I'm like, well, how is that fair to my guests that are coming to celebrate me? And I got to tell Uncle John to take off Tuesday because he has to come celebrate me on Monday with my husband. So no. But like I said, I wanted the experience. So yes, we did call. Sergio wanted to partake in the experience. So he called. But remotely, we knew exactly where we wanted to go. So we went where we wanted to go. And that was really
And then what about finding like your vendors? Like you had a Pinterest board, but did you have like a vendor list or like how did you find them?
So, girl, I told you I've been engaged for some time. So I did my research. I knew exactly what I wanted, who I wanted. I booked my hair and makeup before I booked my wedding date. I just want to be flat out. Like,
wait, how?
Okay.
How do you book people with no date?
Okay, so this is what I did. We went to the venue. We wanted March. We wanted March because March is our anniversary. So like we started dating. We literally had our first date on March 14th. And then
I didn't realize that. Oh my God. So your anniversary date,
Yeah.
like your first date, anniversary date, and your wedding date is the same day.
So, okay, no. Our first official date was March 14th.
What does that mean?
That's like when he asked to be his girlfriend. Like we went out, date like
Oh, not your first date that you met. Your boyfriend and girlfriend anniversary.
Yes, was March 14th.
Okay.
And then he took me to Old Homestead in Manhattan. He gave me my gift and he was like, "Will you be my girlfriend?" It was very cute. And then
that's the perk that you get of dating younger because Joe never asked me to be his girlfriend. So like I'm engaged to someone that are we even boyfriend and girlfriend? He didn't even ask.
Okay. Well,
he just like told me. He was like, I didn't, because I said to him, I was like, you know that you never like asked me. And he was like, oh, like was I supposed to? He was like, I'm like, at the time he was 33. So he was like, I'm 33 years old. Like, I didn't think I had to do that.
We were just young, and I pestered him about it because, like, he was calling me his girlfriend. Like,
well, like, when you're in your like earlier 20s, like, you do that.
He's telling everybody I'm your girlfriend. I go, you didn't ask me to be your girlfriend.
Yeah, so we had ours is a little. We had a back date because when I asked him, I'm like, am I even your, like, I'm like, am I even your girlfriend? Like, cause we were clearly exclusive. We were clearly seeing each other, but like, it just wasn't like clear as day. Like, we, the people written in contract and like signed.
Like signed, sealed, delivered.
Right. So when he said like, yeah, I'm like, okay, but then this isn't our date. Like we've already been together. So we backdated to like, to April.
Yeah. So exactly. So March 14th was our legit anniversary. Like that was our first official date. Asked me to be his girlfriend, and then it is my birthday weekend because we went to AC. I think you were there. My 22nd birthday. We went to AC.
Of course, I was there.
Yeah, we went to AC.
What do you think? I wasn't there.
I had a boyfriend like on my 22nd birthday. Like I manifested it. I wanted it, and I got it, and I have it. Have it though. So we went to the venue. We basically told them we wanted March. They said it was available. They had 3 dates in March available, the 14th being one of them. So we didn't jump the gun. So we told the guy, listen, we're gonna, we'll come back, whatever. He's like, listen, I'll do a courtesy hold. I'll hold the month. I'll hold the 3 dates for you, like whatever. And I'll call you if someone wants it. I know you guys want to get married here. Like, I'll hold it for you, whatever. You let me know. So I did my homework when I got home. I reached out to all the vendors that I really had in mind that I wanted. And a priority to me was hair and makeup, because that could really, some things could really make or break your day, but hair and makeup really could make or break your day. Like if you don't feel beautiful and you don't look beautiful and you're not, like, the vision you have in your head and it's not executed the day of your wedding, I'm sorry. You could have your wedding at the Four Seasons in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. It doesn't matter. If you don't feel your best, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So hair and makeup was available on March 14th. And then also video and photo was available. So we went the following week, February of 2024, to book for March of 2025. Hair, makeup, video, photo was all booked in February. And then, of course, my day of coordinator, Casey, love you, the best. She was booked after social recaps. I needed a content creator, which, another debate, content creator and video, 2 different things, whatever. Like, that's my belief about it. They were booked in February too. The only thing that I think I waited on to book was my DJ, because I was going back and forth, and I'm so happy I waited, because if I would have jumped the gun and booked a DJ that I've known for a very long time, I feel like the vibe and what I wanted on my day would not have been given what I wanted.
Yeah, you had a great DJ.
Yeah, because I feel like, too, there's so much that people put so much pressure on you.
I was just going to say that. Like, I think, I'm not going to get into details of what here publicly, but there is one thing that, like, I feel like I jumped the gun on, because everyone puts pressure on you, like, book now, like, book right now. If you don't book right now, you're going to lose this thing. And so, especially when, like, for me, like, my wedding was booked and planned in less than a year. You gave yourself a little bit of over a year. I booked within less. So that was the first thing everyone was leading with, was like, this is a short notice kind of wedding. So, like, book right now. And so I did book everything right away. And one thing that I, like, kind of was like on the edge of, they got back to me right after I booked the other thing. And I was like, I would have fucking booked these people, but, like, it's not worth losing a deposit. Like, I have seen a lot of people be like, listen, I did that and I had to follow my gut, and, like, I was willing to lose my deposit and, like, book the other one. But I'm like, it's not that serious. Like, it is what it is. I believe everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Of course, yeah.
But, like, it's so true that, like, there is that, like, pressure and anxiety of, like, hurry up and book, or you're gonna end up with nothing on your wedding.
I literally booked my seating chart a month before my wedding.
That's crazy.
Like, it's just, it is. You have to also, too, it's like, I'm not cheap. Like, I feel you pay what you get for. Like, you're paying what you get. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Other way around. You're so close. So close. You get what you pay for. Yeah.
I'm trying to spit it out before the words are coming out.
So close.
And I feel like if I would have jumped the gun and I would have booked the girl that I was talking to for my seating chart a year after my wedding, I would have paid, like, double the amount of money. And it's just a seating chart. Like, this is why, too, social media is the devil, because you go on TikTok, you see all these girls, all these guys have these outlandish seating charts, and you have these luxury things and everything, and it makes you second guess, like, what you're doing and what you want on your wedding day. And, like, I'm so happy I waited. And everyone's like, you're crazy, you didn't book a seating chart. I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't. Because honestly, I'm happy I waited, because I found someone that was so talented. She did exactly what I wanted, and the price was actually a normal price. It wasn't like, and you have to pick and choose too what you want to spend.
What's important?
Yes, like, for me to spend X amount of dollars on a DJ is 10 times more worth it than paying for a seating chart or a welcome song that people are going to say, oh, it's so pretty. Is that
Yeah.
my name?
Well,
Okay.
okay, I'm glad that you're saying this because I'm going to talk with you right now about like what you compromised on and what were your
Mhm.
non-negotiables. But for me, the seating chart altogether is something that I like completely nixed. Like I was going to book who you used for the seating
Mhm.
chart.
Mhm.
She's great, excellent. It's like totally not even a thing against her. It just like for me, I felt like same thing you just said. By no means am I cheap. It's not even about saving money because in no way, shape, or form do you get to save money. Trust
No,
me when
no,
I
no,
say
no,
you don't
no.
save money. All you do is
Mm-mm.
take that money and you put it towards something else.
That's
Like
all.
it's not going in your pocket. The
That's
money is
all.
not staying in your bank account. It's like whatever you don't pay for, you just pay
Mhm.
for in a different way. So, like
That's
with the
all.
seating chart, I decided I don't want it because the way that my venue is like it's very very decorated, it's very elaborate.
Mhm.
Like the seating chart is would just I think be overkill. So like
Mhm.
my venue is a type of place where yeah, you can just walk into a table that has place cards on it and just like take your
Mhm.
name and call it a day. I've been to countless weddings. I could not tell you the difference, in my opinion, no
Mhm.
offense to you, what the difference between a wedding where I picked my name up off a place card or if I read my name on a wall. Like, what difference does it
Yeah.
make?
No, my venue, like we became very friendly. Me and Serge are very personal people, so we became
Right.
very friendly with who we booked our wedding with. He was like, just do the, he goes, it's actually coming back, the seating cards.
Yeah.
And I said, my grandma will literally roast me if she has to walk around the table to find her seating card.
I'm dead.
And I told him if there's no Italian bread on the table, my grandma's gonna lose it.
No,
So
but your place called for it. Your place was
yeah,
very like open, like airy and bright and light.
yes,
Like my place
yes.
is dark and decorated and like
You could
your place I
definitely
think
do it
I
there.
think every single place like calls for different things.
Yes.
Yours is more of a blank canvas type of place where like
Mhm.
it is designed the way it is for brides to come and decorate it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So
of
like your
course.
place, I do think that for you that was worth being in your budget. For us it was
Mhm.
like we could get place cards for what, $150. You just get
Oh,
it
of
like a
course. Yeah,
million
yeah,
place
yeah.
cards, and then you just take the $2,000 you would have put toward the wall towards something else.
Mhm.
Like, and it's
No,
that
listen.
simple.
Yeah. No,
So,
listen.
what? Tell me for you, like, what were your non-negotiable things that you like 100% were going to have to do, and then what were the things that you maybe didn't end up doing?
So my non-negotiables were my day of coordinator, Casey, and my content.
Casey is at Most Valuable Bridesmaids.
Yes, she is honestly, I texted her maybe a million times, thanking her up and down. Like when you're in it and you're there and you're the bride, like you have to understand, like you're gonna see it because your wedding's coming up. Like you anticipated this, you knew, you felt like you were gonna act and be a different way. Once you're in that moment and once you're there, it's like you don't even know where to put
Yeah,
yourself.
you're like,
Like
what do I do?
I remember at one point, my video and photo team, like they were amazing, like so cool, so nice. Like he was literally talking to me. I'm like, wait, can you say it again? I blacked out. Like I didn't know where I was for a minute.
I was not listening to that at
I
all.
wasn't. I wasn't. I said, can you say it one more time? And he was dying laughing. He goes, yeah. So I was like, okay. Like you just don't like. It's just you're in the moment. So my non-negotiable were, and I knew from the minute like I was booking my wedding, hair and makeup was not bending on.
Yeah.
I didn't care if it was $9,000. I'm just giving a price. Like it was that to me is a
Who you wanted.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I feel like photos are, but like I knew exactly who I wanted.
Yeah.
I just wanted nice, traditional, beautiful photos. So I got what I
And
wanted.
wait, tell us more about like the content creator because
Oh,
I'm one
yeah.
of those people who actually asked you if I even need a videographer because a content creator for me is a non-negotiable. But I was like, do I still need a
No. Yeah,
videographer?
you
But
do.
like,
You
I
do.
did book one, but
Yeah, no. So this is the biggest thing, like the biggest, like, I don't know, controversial thing. And like to me, it's really a no-brainer. Like, you need a video guy. Like that video guy and also the content girl. Okay, so perfect example. Like I literally woke up the next day to a shared album with 2,000 videos and photos of something that I have to wait months for. So I could look at these videos and I could just look back and say, oh my God, like I had so much fun, or oh my God, my robe and like my crown and this and that. Like it's literally there. It's right there. It's raw. And then like she puts like the beautiful like mini reels together. So like you have something after your big day. Like you don't have your phone on you. You're not taking photos. You're not taking Snapchats. People using Snapchat anymore? I don't know. You're not taking videos. I literally was not on my phone. I was on my phone maybe for 30 minutes, just checking in on my dog sitter to make sure my dogs got home okay from the venue, and to feed them dinner and to relax. We'll be home by like 3:30 in the morning. That was it. My phone was on my table, didn't even touch it, didn't move. So when people say it's the same thing, it's not. Like my video and photo, I'm waiting months for. Photos you have back sooner, but the video, they got to edit it. They got to do everything.
They give you the warning that it's gonna take a long time.
It takes months. Like I said, content is completely different. That's something that is new, and I think that every bride should have a content creator, and they should have a day of coordinator. Like most valuable bridesmaids and social recaps, my non-negotiable. Get them, book them the best.
What about anything that you maybe didn't? Like, is there anything that you either one ended up just like not doing that you were like, yeah, I don't need that, or two, anything that you did get that you were like, I didn't need that?
Honestly, no, because I got everything.
You did everything
I wanted. I did everything I wanted. I added more. Even my decorator, who I actually became friendly with, she's like, it's a lot. It's over the top. She goes, we're taking flowers away. I said, no, let's do it up. We're doing it right. We're doing it up. Let's go. Go higher. If you can go higher, if you could touch the ceiling and go up to break the ceiling, up into the roof, let's break the fucking roof. Like, let's just do it, okay?
She's like, let's scale back. You're like, no, I don't do that.
Like, if we could bring an elephant in, let's bring an elephant in. Like, that's where I was. Like, I can't even look back and say I regret not doing one thing, because I literally did everything I wanted.
That's the best feeling, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It is. I have no regrets.
Yeah. I mean, like even for us, like granted we might be biased because we were bridesmaids, but like for me, it's like it was the best. Like I had the best time. Like it was beautiful. Everything was amazing. I loved your venue. I loved the food. I loved the whole thing. I'm curious, like for you said you were set on that place. So like why? Like what to you is the most important thing that a venue offers you?
So this is going to be crazy. This is going to sound crazy. So my Aunt Kathy got married there.
Oh.
And I just remember being a little girl, and this was like my first wedding experience. I was in a wedding. I was her bridesmaid. I had my white and black satin dress on. I had my hair in a bun, flowers. I had a little flower basket. And I remember this was my first wedding. So it was my first impression. Now, keep in mind, I was 10 years old. I'm going back 20 something years ago. Okay. And I just remember everyone around me just loved the place. Now, keep in mind, obviously 20 something years ago, they redid it. They made it more beautiful. They added things. That room that I got married in is a complete extension, basically. Added it, renovated everything. And I remember just saying to myself as a little girl, like, I want to get married here. Like, I swear to God, I manifested it. So when I met Sergio, who's from Brooklyn, and we were, like I said, pillow talk, just dating and everything else. And he's like, where do you want to get married? I'm like, honestly, I said, I want to get married at the El Carib in Brooklyn. He goes, honestly? He goes, I do too. He says, it's one of the best wedding venues. I swear to God. That room that our party was in, that was my aunt's wedding room.
Oh my God.
She had her party. So when we went back with her, like obviously I just lost my dad, gonna be 2 years ago. So when we went back and she was like, Amanda, oh my God. Like all the feels like just came back and everything. It was just like, she goes, this is your room? I was like, this is my room. I literally have photos from her wedding and of her and my dad dancing in that room, the same room. But it's just new. They did the floors over. They put new wallpaper up. They put new shit. It's just, was just everything I wanted. I can't even look back and say there's one thing that I wanted to change.
Yeah. Yeah. If someone didn't have that sort of history and they were picking a venue, what would you tell them? Like, this is the most important thing to like look out for when you're picking. Like if they don't have a personal story and they're just like
Mhm.
blank picking a place, like
Mhm.
what do you think is the most important thing?
To me, the most important thing is because I come from a very opinionated, crazy Italian family, and also I'm married into one, so I feel like it's all about the food.
Mm-hmm.
Food, 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 food. If the food's not good, and even the music's not good in an Italian family, you're cut off. Like you're banned, you're disowned from the
Yeah.
family.
Listen, I know that there's like different cultures and people who
Of
do things
course.
differently, but it always is so crazy to me because I'm on Wedding Talk. My whole For You page on
Yeah.
TikTok is like wedding stuff. The
Uh-huh.
amount of people that talk about how unimportant the food is to them because they're like no one pays attention to the food. You don't even eat at a
Feel my
wedding.
temperature. Feel my temperature.
They're always like, you don't even eat at a wedding. I just
Yeah.
saw a video of a girl who was like, take whatever money that you were adding toward your food budget and put it toward the alcohol budget because only all people care about is the food are the drinks. No one cares about the food. And all the comments were agreeing. They're like so true.
Oh no,
They're
no,
like,
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
remember any food I ate at a wedding.
Garbage.
And I'm like reading
Garbage.
the comments and I'm like,
Garbage.
do people really feel that way? Like the
Can
food
I
is the
say
most important
something?
thing.
Can I say something? First of all,
Don't get me canceled.
no. Not, this is
Don't
that's on the next episode, not this episode. So I literally left my wedding full,
yeah, stuffed.
stuffed.
I couldn't even eat
ate
the dessert.
No, honey, I ate the churros.
No, I
ate
couldn't.
everything.
I
Oh,
tasted, of
honey,
course,
no.
your wedding cake because, like, you have to. But, like,
It was
guys,
good.
Amanda had. I don't even know what you want to call that. For they do a whole presentation for dessert. Like they come in with breakfast food. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
pancakes, bacon, waffles, and then they have like cotton candy. I did get a cotton candy machine. They have popcorn. They have a million different types of cakes. They have. It was like the biggest dessert situation that I've ever witnessed in my life, and
Oh yeah.
I couldn't. I had a little wedding cake and I had a little cotton candy because I cannot
Mhm.
resist the cotton candy, but I could
No,
not dive
no.
in. Like I kept saying I was going to go back for more because there was so much, but I was so full from everything else that I just couldn't.
Normally you go into another room for dessert. Like I guess like the cocktail room is where you would go for
Yeah.
dessert.
Yeah.
So at that venue, they're known for bringing the dessert in the room for you. So, and at that point, because what people do is they basically take dessert and they go.
Yeah.
So I feel like when they saw that everything coming in, they were playing like this club music, like these things were coming in. There was waffles, there was omelets, there was churros, there was pretzel, there was everything, everything and everything. It made people stay. Like my wedding was till 1 a.m., which I was so happy about because it goes by so quick. So by the time you actually settle down, you're like, okay, like gonna enjoy yourself, your wedding's over.
Yeah.
So to me, like they did. I can't even say one thing wrong, but these people these days, like God bless, if you feel the food's not worth, like if I'm paying X amount of dollars and listen, you could literally ask me a venue what their price is for per plate. I'll tell you. I'm like the venue whore, and I knew where I was going always. You could not tell me price per plate. Like if I'm paying you X amount of dollars, the food better knock my socks off. My guest, okay, so my wedding was the 14th. Whenever people call, they're like, Amanda, the food was absolutely amazing. Like
Yeah.
amazing, amazing, no comparison. And that's what I wanted to hear.
People don't know good food.
No, they don't. And Serge is a very picky eater, so
So is
that
Joe.
show. Oh God. Yeah, exactly. I mean, where you're getting married, I heard it's absolutely amazing. The food's A1, like
Yeah.
the best, like the best. So like I said, it was really a no-brainer. Like we knew having a wedding, we wanted people to talk about the food, the DJ, and the little details that I did. And 3 checked off my list.
Speaking of controversial stuff and my For You page, my entire For You page right now is talking about +1 etiquette. And I made a video myself, and like, of course, that's getting the most comments right now. I want to know your perspective before I even say anything. Your perspective on +1 etiquette. How'd you do it?
I didn't do it. I didn't want randos at my wedding. And I feel it's your day. You're spending X amount of dollars. If your friend, and I even asked my friends, like, do you want to bring somebody?
Oh,
And
you
they were like,
did?
I did. And they were like, no, I don't want to bring. I've had experiences. I brought somebody and it was a waste. And I didn't even speak to them. I had to put extra in the envelope to never speak to them ever again. Right. So no, there's no point. So honestly, no. And I texted a few of them and I said, listen, like, I don't know your current relationship status, but if you have someone that you want to bring, let me know it ahead of time. I'll accommodate it. If not, no. I really
So
didn't
you
give
put the
anyone.
option out there.
I did, but I didn't give anyone a +1 at
Right.
all. I
Right.
didn't.
There was no just like, here's
No.
the end guest option. It was like, is there someone in particular that
Yeah.
you want to bring?
Yeah, but also too, I didn't want randos at my wedding.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't. It was a very you were there. It was a very like
Yeah,
it was
it was like relatively small
it
compared
was
to, the way that it could be if you're going to give everyone
exactly.
a +1. Yeah.
Forget it. We were if I gave everybody a +1, we would have been almost like 200 people.
Yeah. No, it's a lot. My thing is like, it's very simple. When you're in a relationship, like you're in a serious relationship, that person doesn't count as a +1. Their
Mhm.
significant other, like they're invited together. Like me and
Mhm.
Joe, he's not my +1. He's your guest. Like you're inviting the two of us together. That
Of
goes
course.
without saying. Then when it
Mhm.
comes to like everybody else, my take is like, when you're single, listen, I was single throughout all my 20s, invited to every
Mhm.
wedding with no +1. That's it. Like, you don't have someone to bring. You're not just getting the opportunity to just bring,
Of
like you said,
course.
a random person to your wedding.
Yeah.
The only exception that I think can be made, and I'm not even going to say should be made because it doesn't have to be, it just can be
Mhm.
made, are the single people who are coming who are not friends with anybody. And they're
Of
going to sit at
course.
a table with nobody that they
Agreed.
know. Then it's
Mhm.
like, because I've been there and I've been in that position where I couldn't bring anybody with me. And I went to weddings where everybody at my table knows each other or they're with their person. So like,
Yeah.
they, even if they didn't know the people next to them, they're at least with their partner. And I'm sitting there on my phone texting you guys because I'm like, I don't know what to
Of
even do with
course.
myself. Like,
Yeah.
so
Well,
that's the only like
yeah.
exception.
Also, too, like I said, I didn't give anyone the option, but everybody at my wedding knew everybody. Like
Yeah.
your table was lit. Like
Yeah.
I wish I
Yeah.
could have put myself at your table. Like everybody knew each other. So it wasn't like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like
You rather sit with your girls?
duh, we fucking partied. No, but like when I was going through it in my head, like even before everyone responded yes, and I did my tables and everything, I already knew in my head who was sitting where, and I felt like my single friends did have my other single friend to be
Yeah.
with. But if
Yep.
you're bringing two randos, it's like you can't enjoy yourself either. Like you're going
Yeah.
to a wedding, you want to fucking party. Like you
Yeah.
don't want to like be dancing and look over and say, "Oh, how's Johnny doing?" Like
Yeah.
you got to worry about Johnny. Like no, we don't want to worry about Johnny. We want to have fun. Like let's
Yeah.
have fun. So
You're gonna
no.
laugh. I didn't tell Joe this because he would think I'm psychotic. I actually did my tables. I didn't even send out invitations yet,
Stop.
obviously. But I was like, let me just do it hypothetically because it'll make my life easier that by the time that I get the RSVPs back and the no's and the like
Mhm.
official yeses, like I already know everyone's placement. I just gotta maneuver around because obviously I made my tables based on every single guest that's being invited, which isn't
Of
gonna be the
course.
case because
Of
not every
course.
single person is gonna say yes.
Mhm.
But I'm like, let me just do it, get it out of the way. And then, over the summer when it's
Yeah.
all said and done, I just got to like move people around a little bit.
Honestly, that to me was the most stressful part of.
Oh my God. It was so much fun. I felt like I was playing a computer game.
No, it's fun, but it's not fun when people are RSVPing 3 weeks before your wedding and they missed the cutoff.
Yeah,
and they're
okay.
like,
I would
I'm
just assume
coming.
that they're not coming. But yeah, I was like, I feel like because Joe's been working so late, and I was like sitting on the couch, and I needed like I was actually about to start playing games on my phone, and then I was like, wait, I could play a better game and make a seating chart, and so that's what I did.
It really is. It's fun. I have to say, doing it, it's fun because you're like, oh no, yes, no, yeah, yeah. Let's put them there, there, there. You know, it's like fun, but like when it's coming down to the why, you did it right. Like my invitations, I sent them out perfect timing, like what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to do 2 months out. I did, but I don't know. The mail, I guess, just screwed me over, and I was getting My RSVP date was Valentine's Day, a month out, which is normal. I was getting calls up until like the week before,
Yeah, okay. I would be like, I already counted you as a no.
like 2 weeks before. I literally told the girl, "Don't print me a mock." The week of the wedding, I got a few more phone calls, and I literally sent her the list 3 times. I was like, "I'm so sorry." She goes, "Please." She goes, "I'm so used to this." Apparently, people go through it. I don't know. I guess it had to be me too.
That's just so not right. Where is the freaking etiquette?
I know.
Would you say that was like the hardest thing, or like what was the hardest part in general with your wedding planning?
The RSVP and the seating chart. That was it.
Speaking about hardships, we are going to have a little change in tone of the conversation because we're going to talk about something, the hardest part truly of all, which was the loss of your dad during this
Yeah.
time, which happened. I'll never forget, obviously, how that happened and when that
Yeah.
happened, but it happened right before your engagement party was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this. I know it's hard to talk about, but I want to talk about this because I know so many brides go through it.
Mm-hmm.
The, absence, the loss of a parent on, their wedding day.
Of
So you're
course.
like grieving while also trying to go through the best time in your life. So
Mm-hmm.
tell it like in your own words, whatever way you can, tell us what that is like for you, like being able to, like, okay, you're about to have your engagement party, your dad
Mm-hmm.
bought your dress, you're about to have like your finally your big day, whatever, and then this happens. What is that like?
Um, you know what? It In just one word, 2 words, it fucking sucked. But you know what? Like I have those memories of him in the hospital, like us like planning the engagement party. Like he was so involved. He was like, you have to make sure the DJ plays 50 Cent. You have to make sure, like
Of
we were
course.
talking, of course. You have to make sure we do a dance. And I was like, of course, Dad, we're gonna do it. And that's like, not. I don't. Is it? I don't even think it's a traditional thing to do a dance with your dad on the engagement
No,
party, but
at
it
the
is.
engagement party, at the
No,
no.
but my dad's health was kind of up and down, and these doctors not knowing basically what they were doing didn't help, but it didn't break his soul and it didn't break his spirit. Like he was always so present and he just wanted to be there for me and my sisters. And we were in the hospital, and when he went in the hospital, it was, give me a minute, it was August 13th, and he had a stroke.
2023.
2023. And we just booked our engagement party like 2 weeks before he went to the hospital. And I'll never forget, like I called him and I told him we booked it. He was so happy. He's like, "Oh, Daddy's got to get a new suit.
I
Like we
remember
got to get
that.
you a dress." So like my aunt was there. They were so happy. And then he went into the hospital. And I just remember I walked in the room and I was like, what the fuck what the fuck is going on? Like, just nothing even mattered at that point. And then when he started to get a little better and he was a little bit more like coherent and there, we were having conversations about the party and the planning and the engagement. And because I wasn't supposed to have an engagement party, I was only having one because I wanted to do a destination wedding. So we were having the engagement party obviously for that because we knew like the 125, 130 people were not going to make it to Bahamas. So that's why we were having it really. And I'll never forget, and I asked him when he was lucid. At that point, it was like a week later, and I was like, "Dad," I was like, "my party's September 30th." I was like, "I will do whatever you want me to do." I said, "I'll cancel it." I said, "I'll push it back." He goes, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "Just because I'm here doesn't mean you're not going to have your happiness and do what you want He goes, regardless if I'm there or if I'm not there, you're having this party. Like, no matter what, you're having it. And I was like, Dad, I won't send the invitation. Because at that point, it was a month out. I had to send the invitations out. Everybody knew about it. And they were like, well, what's going on? Are we having it? Are we not? Like, what's, you know? So he was like, no, send them out. You're having your engagement party no matter what. So we sent them out. He was supposed to come home. And then, unfortunately, whatever happens. You know, we still really don't know what happened because I was there with him the night that he passed away. I went to the hospital after work, and I feel like I don't want to get like all spiritual and whatever, but I feel like God just works in ways. So when I had my last night with my dad, he was supposed to come home. So he passed away September 22nd. My engagement party was September 30th. So
which is so crazy because I didn't realize that it was the anniversary of you getting engaged.
We did that on purpose.
So your wedding day and your anniversary, what will be now, is the anniversary of becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. And what was supposed to be your engagement party was 3 years from getting engaged.
Yeah, I told you I'm a very detailed person.
Yeah, you guys are very detailed. Jeez.
Well, me though. So I remember walking in the room and I saw my dad, and he just looked very peaceful. Like he was sleeping, and I was talking to him, and we were having a conversation, and he was answering me, and he just looked very peaceful. Like, I don't know, maybe it was like God preparing me for what was to come. I guess like God saying like, I don't want you to remember the past month and a half. I want you to remember him right now just being peaceful, you know? And I remember leaving, and I looked back, and he was just like sleeping, like peaceful, like looked like there was just nothing happening. And then I got home. I got home. I was at the hospital till about like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I got home, I ordered dinner, and I was sitting at my kitchen table. And now Serge went out to dinner. And we live in Jersey. So the hospital was obviously in Staten Island. And he was going out to eat with his friends. He's like, but we're going to go to Eska's, which Eska's was literally up the block.
From the hospital.
From the hospital. So my aunt calls me, like, we have to get to the hospital. Something's wrong with your dad. We have to go. So like, I just remember like I was in my pajamas. I just put a bra on. Like I threw my dogs in the kitchen. I locked my front door, and I just remember calling Sergio, and I was like screaming. I'm like, Sergio, you have to leave. You have to go to my dad. Like something's wrong. Like, I don't know how far away my aunt is. Like, you have to get there. You have to get there. He just dropped everything and he went. And I remember like driving, and I'm like begging God. I'm like, God, please let me just talk to him one more time. Let me just see him one more time. Please, 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 please. And now I'm calling everybody because I'm like thinking like I'm 45 minutes away. So I'm thinking like a lot could happen in 45 minutes. So I'm like calling Sergio and Kathy, my sisters. No one's picking up the phone. So I already knew it wasn't good because they were not picking up the phone. So when I got up the elevator, I guess left my car in the parking lot, and I just ran and I went in the elevator. I didn't even get a pass. They just like let me in. I guess they knew who I was going to see. And I just went up the elevator, and I just saw Sergio, and I know. Like, I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I've like heard that story countless times, and like it doesn't like it just, you know.
It still doesn't feel real.
I can't believe that it's almost 2 years ago.
I know. Me and my sister say it all the time because anytime he would go into the hospital, he always came home.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if it was 3 days, if it was a week, if it was 2 weeks, if it was almost a month, he always came home. So it still is such a shock. Like people don't even believe it. Like I don't even believe it. No one does. It doesn't feel real at all, ever.
Now, of course, obviously you canceled the engagement party. Like people also need to realize, like, because you didn't mention it before, but you know, when we talked about you got engaged 2020, and then like COVID made that get delayed, and then buying the house made that get delayed, and then this happening made things like there was so much that went on. Like you got married in 2025, almost 5 years from being engaged. So like that sounds like a long time, but like when life keeps happening, like it's it's actually not. Like, it actually flew by. It was like
It
so many
did.
things happened that just kept making it get delayed. You didn't really talk about your dad in the beginning, but I
Mhm.
wanted to get to that point to like say like, this is real life. Like, this is the shit
Of
that happens.
course.
Like, you make your plans and then look at the
Mhm.
stuff that goes on, and like, you can't prepare for that. You can't plan for that. And I
No.
know, of course, like,
Mhm.
your dad wanted you to have the engagement party, but I think it was the right thing. I can't imagine
Oh my God,
8
no.
days later having that party. Like, he
No.
wanted you to have it, but you got to wear the dress that he bought you for your shower. So
Yes.
Amanda wore her what was supposed to be her engagement party dress to her
Mhm.
bridal shower.
Yeah.
Um, and like, you still got to honor him in so many ways. And so, like, I think that you made the right move. I can't even imagine you having that.
No, like it wasn't even like a thought. And this is why it validates like when things that happen in a relationship, like especially losing a parent. Like me and Serge have gone through, and this is why when you're going to marry someone, you're going to be with someone, they need to be your person. Like you need someone to lean on. You need
Yeah.
someone to go through not just good, bad. Like I literally say all the time, like me and Serge honored our vows to each other before we said them.
Right.
Like good, bad, rich, poor, like whatever
Yeah.
it entails, like we've done it. Like we have literally been with each other for one of my biggest loss, and that was
Yeah.
unfortunately my first big loss was my dad, and thank God he was there for me because I mean obviously I have my friends and my family, but it's
No, but
different.
that's your
Yeah,
soulmate. Like,
of
it's not
course.
the same thing.
Like I was there when he lost his grandparents. Like that was his mom passed away when he was 18 years old, 19 years old. And his grandparents, her parents were still alive.
Yeah.
And I was with him with that. Like that was crazy too. Like we've been through just so much together. And he's like, like he's a pain in the ass, but
That's what
but
you
that he's my person. He's my person.
aren't they all though?
You
But no,
know.
that's like you said, that's what you need to look for. Like, is this person bringing you peace, or do they bring you hell?
Mhm.
Because toxic
Yep.
relationships are no joke, and like, you
No.
can't. No, that's this is the shit. You know what? I'm gonna tell you actually right now. Hold
Mhm.
on, I'm gonna pull this post up. So I don't know if you know this influencer, Bridget. Have you ever heard of Bridget? Her
Uh,
Instagram name is literally just Bridget. In any case,
if I see it, maybe.
she has cancer. She has breast cancer. I can't even fathom it. Like, this is a girl that like everyone has seen on social media like for years, like the glitz and the glam, and then it's
Uh-huh.
like, clearly look at what happens in life. Like, she has cancer. And she
Horrible.
made a post saying, hold on, I'm going to tell you exactly what she wrote on the screen. Yeah, it's her in the hospital bed, and then like her
Mhm.
husband gets in the bed and is like cuddling her. They're like laying in the hospital bed together.
Mhm.
And she wrote, "I promise you this, the guy who isn't texting you back also won't be the husband squeezing into bed with you in the emergency room in the middle of the night."
True.
And it's like, when you're trying to force these guys who are like clearly not your guy, like, think
Mhm.
about shit like that. Think about real life. Don't think about like, oh, but I
Yeah.
like him. I want to hook up with him. Like,
No.
life is so much fun. Like, think about the real shit. If he's not even there for you to answer your texts or your calls, is he going to be there for you when you need him to run to the hospital, leave his friends? Imagine trying to tell some fuck boy, like, you got to leave dinner with your friends and get to the hospital. Like, no, only a husband is going to do that.
Yep.
So,
100%.
um, now we talked about like the whole leading up to it, but I want to hear, like, I guess, and maybe it'll help brides in some way, like, who are in this same position, like when it comes to having your wedding without your dad being there, like your actual wedding day, the day that, of course, that you dream about for your whole life. You never imagine your dad not being there.
Mhm.
So how do
Yeah.
you compartmentalize like the grief of him not being there while also being happy and like appreciating that this is still the best day of your life?
So my dad, we had like a lot of conversations, and like my dad would always do it to me. I don't know why. Like we would always have these conversations that like were very serious about like life and stuff. And he would always tell me like there's going to be a time and a day where I'm not there.
Oh,
Doesn't
How?
matter.
I can't have those
I
conversations.
know. And I was like, Dad, I don't want to hear it. He's like, no, you have to hear it. Like, he would tell me, like, listen, you're going to be upset. You're going to grieve, but you have to feel it in order to not move on from it, but in order to be, I guess, at some peace with it, you have to feel it. And you have to know, like, I want you happy no matter what. Like, you're going to miss me, yes, but I don't want you to not enjoy your life. And I don't want you to not do what you want to do because I'm not there. He goes, I'm there. You just don't see me. I'm there. But you need to live your life and still be happy. Like, I'm there.
Oh my God, I could never have these conversations.
No, like, we would always have these conversations. I said, Dad, you're driving me nuts, stop. And like, he would, like, we would just literally, and he like would just say, like, you have to be happy. Like, you have to live your life. Like, it makes me sad that, he wasn't physically there, but like, I know he was there.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
I know from just everything. And like, I've been seeing.
He was felt. His energy was felt.
Everything. Like, the whole, even now, like, after that I'm married, the whole month or two before, like, I kept seeing
Signs.
444, 2222, all those numbers. And like, the day he passed away, the last day we had together, like, cardinal, like, all crazy things. Like, I'll never forget, like, last year when we just booked the wedding in May, something just dawned on me. Like, I guess it just hit me. Like, I was booking my wedding and my dad wasn't going to be there. So I'm like walking down my driveway and I have my dogs and like, I'm just thinking about my dad. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe my dad's not going to be there at my wedding day. Like, we literally spoke about this day for so long and we picked out what song we were going to dance to and like what we are going to walk down the aisle to and like all these details, like father, like when you're a bride, it's the father of the bride. Like, that's like the biggest thing. And like, even for the groom, it's the mother of the groom. It's like, Serge, you didn't have that and I didn't have my dad. So I was walking down my driveway and I think I literally sent a voice note because I was sobbing after this happened to me. I'm walking down my driveway. I'm just thinking of my dad, the wedding day and how it's going to go. And I was just so anxious. Like, I don't know, just walking down my driveway and a fucking cardinal just flies right by me. And I'm like, oh my God, what was that? And I turned, there was a big, huge cardinal on my tree. Sobbing, instant tears, like, instant. So like, I had, like, you get peace in the signs. It lets them know you're with you. But like I said, like, I didn't want like my dad to see me from up there, not me promising him that like I was gonna be okay. I don't want him to worry about me.
Yeah.
Like, and you were there. I basically dedicated the whole day to him.
Yeah.
Like, there was no compromising on like the memory table. It had to be there. It had to be next to my table. I did this ceremony, the banners. I had one for my dad, and then I had one for Sergio's mom, and then I had one for his grandparents, both sides, and his uncle that he was very close to. The signature drinks were my dad and his mom. Also, too, I walked myself down the aisle. That's a big controversial thing, too, because people are like, well, if you have your mom in your life, she could walk you down. Like, it was no disrespect towards my mom. It was just, when I walked down the aisle by myself, I knew my dad was with me. And I knew when people saw me, they would think of my dad. And it wasn't sad that, oh my God, she's walking down alone. Like, they were seeing me, honoring him, but they were also thinking of all the good times that they had with my dad.
Yeah.
Like, and that was, to me, the best way that I could honor him was to walk down the aisle. Because there was no other person worthy or should have that title but the father of the bride. Yeah. So that was just my take on it. And my mom gave me away, which she was okay with. Like, she knew it was going to be a hard day for all of us, my sisters, but I don't have any regrets about how I honored him on my wedding day.
No,
I don't.
You had to. I can't imagine, because the only reason why he wasn't there was because he physically could not be. So to give anyone else the honor of walking you down the aisle feels wrong, because he's not like, oh, like my dad and I aren't close and he didn't show up. Yeah. It's like, no, my dad would have gone through hell he fought in the hospital
I got
to
it.
be there for you, like
Yep.
truly. So he
Mhm.
would have been there. So it's just not right. It wouldn't have
Mhm.
been right, you know?
Yeah, of course. And then people say, "Oh, well, you should have had it sooner." But I've had these conversations with my dad, and
Right.
he said, "I'm so proud of you that you made the mature decision to buy a home."
Yeah.
Like after the wedding, after the party, after the grand and everything else, you go home. You don't have anyone to rest your head. He's like, "I'm so happy you made a mature adult decision to buy the house first. I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about you, like where you're going when you get older. You obviously don't live with your parents your whole life, you know? Like you didn't have to ever worry about me, you know?"
Yeah. I know that like I say like, oh, I could never have those conversations. I know those conversations were
Mhm.
hard, but like I feel like looking back now, you're probably like so grateful you had them.
I am, because I feel like when you have those raw conversations with your parent, like obviously like when people hit a certain point in their life, especially parents, like they I don't know how to explain it. Like I guess they get like that feeling to like have these conversations because they're getting older, you're getting older. So
There's no
as they're
hiding it. You
yeah,
can't deny it.
you can't beat to have these conversations. So we've had so many of these conversations, like, and it was not so morbid like the way I hope I'm not making it come up as morbid.
No.
It's him coming off to me saying like it's okay, like you have to be happy, you have to live your life, you have to carry on, you have to have kids. Like all my father wanted was grandkids.
I
He wanted me to
know.
have grandkids. And when I bought my house, I I actually went on Facebook, and when I bought my house, he posted on his Facebook like, "Oh, congratulations to my daughter and future son-in-law buying their." I know, sorry, my daughter and future son-in-law buying their house. Give Papa some grandkids.
Aw.
Like that's all he wanted.
I know.
And you know, like I said, we had these conversations, and they were just I think it was him because my dad was the person that I would go to for guidance and reassurance and like validating my feelings and going through these motions of life and like doing this and doing that. So I feel like he knew he had to have these conversations with me because he knew that I guess that me and him were so close. Like I would take it the absolute hardest, but I also had to be strong for my sisters.
Mhm.
And I feel like he really drilled me on it because he didn't want me to completely go into some depression
Yeah.
hole and not be able to come out of it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. And I think like you said, like if they have the awareness of like, not saying that
Life
this is the case, but like if he had the awareness that maybe he
of just
wasn't
life.
feeling, yeah, like he
Yeah.
wasn't feeling his best, and he
Hmm.
may have had that itch from God, like that sign, like talk to your daughter about these
Yeah.
things, you know, like it
Yeah.
may have. I'm not necessarily saying that like he knew that he was going to pass away, but like
Yeah. No.
he might have had that
Mm-mm.
like little,
Yeah. He might, when he went in the hospital, I mean, we always had just these normal conversations, like I said.
yeah,
But I don't know. I felt like he didn't want to see us, especially me. I don't know. Like we always had these conversations.
yeah,
And I just think that he didn't want to see me completely just, not be okay. Like
yeah.
I'm not that I'm okay, but
But you are,
I'm okay. Like, I'm at peace with it.
yeah,
Like I'd
yeah.
rather him be in peace than suffering.
Yeah, 100%. With that being said, we're going to wrap up with two last words of wisdom, pieces of advice. One
Mhm.
would be basically what you just said. To your first piece of advice to help brides who are going to be dealing with the loss of a parent on their big day. Any words of advice to help bring them peace? And then the other one is just brides in general. Like last words of wisdom for like this is one thing that like I want brides to know for their big day.
So for grieving a parent, I just think the best thing that you could do is make it known that they're there
Mhm.
with, like I said, like I did the banners, I did the signature. I just honor them. Like they're there no matter what. So
Yeah.
honor them, make it feel known that they're there in any shape or form or size but they're there.
Yeah.
Like don't make it like it's such like
Don't hide from it because you're afraid to feel the feelings. And
Exactly. Like your gut, like it didn't hit me until we did the memory dance.
Yeah.
That's when it really, really hit me because I danced to one of my dad's favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like I knew walking down the aisle, I had to be strong for him.
Yeah.
I had to be strong that whole day for him.
Yeah.
So you have to just keep in mind them, and they want you to be happy.
Yeah.
They're looking down at you and they want you to be happy. They don't want you to shortchange yourself. They don't want you to be, depressed and upset. Of course, at first, yes, but it's it's life,
Yeah.
And my other piece of advice for brides in general is just be in the moment. Enjoy your day. Like we started at 9 a.m. getting ready. Once 9:30 came, I blinked and it was over. Like it just flew by. But I look back on my wedding. I don't regret where I had it. I don't regret the money I spent on hair and makeup. I don't regret my gown. I don't regret my decor. I don't regret nothing. I actually ate, drank. I couldn't get a buzz to save my life, but I ate and I drank like I wanted. And people were actually coming up to me and saying, "You're the only bride that I know that actually went to her wedding and enjoyed herself."
Yeah.
Just enjoy yourself.
You were like also a guest at your own wedding. Like you were just enjoying the party.
I literally was. I just was just there to have a good time. Like you pay all this money, all the preparing, everything that goes into it. Just fucking enjoy it. It goes by so quick. Just fucking enjoy it.
It was I know for you, and it does go so quick because I can't believe we're almost 2 weeks away from it. But for me, like I do feel like because we were all so present and like not on our phones, and like luckily we in the blink of an eye very quickly rushed a few TikToks, but like because we were so like disconnected and just like very present, like I do feel like the day felt like a full day. Like I didn't feel like damn everything was rushed. Like no, everything felt like it took time. So like it felt slow yet fast. Like you know what I mean? Like it came and went, but like it felt slow the day.
I tell you, it went slow. Like I said, just said before. Once 9:30 came, I blinked and it was over.
Yeah.
But from leading up to it, I couldn't believe that it was the cocktail hour. I couldn't believe it was legit. It felt like an hour.
Yeah.
Like nothing felt like during the whole day. Like it was just so quick.
Yeah.
Once 9:30 came, I blinked and it was over.
I know. But it was the best day. I had so much fun. I'm so happy that you had your dream wedding. So we will leave it with that. But to go, what are you looking forward to now? What's next for you that you're excited about? Share with the girls.
So I'm actually very excited to go on my honeymoon. And I'm so happy I took the break because I'm still recovering from my wedding. That's
like you didn't leave for your honeymoon like after your wedding.
No. Thank God I didn't, because I would literally be dead on my honeymoon. Like, no, I don't know. God bless if you do it. I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to my honeymoon. I'm looking forward to, now it's the spring, getting my house back in order, putting more, stuff into my house. And I think I want to get into the event planning business.
Oh, okay.
I do. I think I'm a bride going planner. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I loved planning my wedding. I had so much fun planning it.
Oh my God.
I feel like I'll be that namaste to the brides out there.
Yeah.
Listen,
I could see you. I mean, like we've talked about it like a little bit, like not too seriously, but like I told you, like I could so see it for you. You have the personality for it. You're good at planning and you're good at doing all this stuff. Look at how great, you did it for yourself. So, and I think you just have a lot of advice to give. So,
good. Sorry. And honestly, like when I had my bridal shower, I literally had people, my content creator, Kayla, she posted as a joke on the thing, events by Amanda coming. I had about almost 10 DMs of people saying, "Can you book my daughter's bridal shower?" And I was so scared to take the leap. But
no, you gotta do it.
But now I had the wedding, I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Showered by Amanda.
Coming soon.
Ooh, and we'll leave it at that. What's your social media names, like TikTok, Instagram? Where could the girls follow you? And stay tuned for Showered by Amanda.
Yes. So my Instagram is Amanda.Antico_X3. And my TikTok is still ACAMsX3 because ACAMs till I die, but sorry.
Okay. the X3, we gotta talk about the
I
X3. Amanda
know.
still has an AIM screen name as her social media.
I still have AOL. Leave me alone.
If you're gonna become famous, because Amanda's
know.
goal is to become famous off of her wedding. If you're gonna become famous, we got to get with the times. The X3 has got to go. Amanda, thank you so much for being my first guest as my best friend's wedding series on For
Love
the
it.
Girls. Love the sweatshirt. You girls can get that sweatshirt linked in my bio. I'll put Amanda's links in my bio, and stay tuned for what is to come. Love ya.
Love ya.
Bye.